I want to watch the interview. It's going to be with the ER doctor. It's going to be with the nurses that were there the night.
I don't even know what to say about it. There was zero emotion. I don't even know what to say. I've never seen anything like it.
The housekeeper.
And so I started getting the trash out, and then when I did that, I seen that there was a baby.
Ultrasound technician. And again, this happened back in January of 2023.
It gets a little shaky when it's newborn, stuff like that. But with like death certificates, stuff like that, Turping and Sons, if you choose to use them, we'll be the ones to help you get those. Other than that, because that's all really you'd need. And they can help you with the afterlife care, okay? Do y'all have any questions for me right now? Okay. You have my number. You can.
She just lost a child. Well, I mean, come on, there's got to be some common human decency here.
I'm not liking his arguments. Okay, so far, her lawyer says that seems like they're trying to blame the hospital. Trying to blame the hospital for also giving her painkillers. And maybe they're trying to allude that, hey, the painkillers is what killed the baby, not my client here. And now he's saying that like, well, she just lost a son. Don't you have sympathy for her? Oh my God. It's kind of hard to have sympathy for her because the baby was found in a trash bin. All right, so I wanted to just listen to that. That's her defense attorney. Very, very interesting.
I'm Detective Minter. This is Detective Gonzalez.
Hey guys.
Very, very nice to meet you.
Likewise.
So, go ahead.
Give me 1 sec. I need to give my daughter a direction here.
Okay.
On top of the refrigerator. Have Axel get it down.
Darn kids.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
That's what the snacks are.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and state your name and what you do and where you work.
Heather Marshall Vasquez, MD. I am an emergency physician. My full-time employment job is through Holy Cross Medical Center in Taos, New Mexico, where I'm the medical director. And then I work as an independent contractor for Artesia General Hospital. I work sort of 2 to 4 shifts a month down there.
They can refer to her as a child. She's 19. Legally, she is an adult, but you're a fucking high schooler. I don't know. I still consider her as a fucking child. Legally, you're an adult, but mentally, child all the way. I don't see how any expert could sway any normal thinking person in their favor. I mean, the expert could just say that, like, hey, the baby was stillborn, so that way she won't be charged for was like homicide, right?
Okay.
She might just be charged with I don't know, maybe just discarding a human remain. What was inexcusable in a safe haven state? Yeah.
Okay.
I totally agree.
So for January 27th of this year, you came into contact with Alexee Trevizo. Can you tell us what happened on that day? Just from the beginning of everything that happened.
I don't know. Even safe haven state or not, still inexcusable.
Yes, she presented, I want to say it was around 11:30 at night. I don't have the chart in front of me, so there's some details I'm going to have to sort of guesstimate from my recollection. Her main complaint was for back pain. She was brought in by her mother. We were told that she began having back pain after coming home from cheerleading practice. Sounds like she had gone to bed and then woken her mother up. And so her mother brought her in. And when I initially evaluated her, she really wouldn't sit still. She wouldn't really let me examine her. She had on a very baggy sweater.
I'm also kind of curious, though. Why did she wake up her mom to take her to the hospital? Why not just wake up her boyfriend? Be like, hey, like, I'm going to sneak out of the house. Can you take me to the hospital? Like, don't tell my mom, though, right? Like, why would you wake up your mom?
And, a 19-year-old with back pain, the vast majority of the time, that's not going to be anything serious. But she was just not really acting right. And so I became concerned that there was something else going on, potentially a kidney stone or something like that.
Oof, kidney stone.
The patient and her mother if she could be pregnant. Her mother said, no, under no circumstances. I've been buying pads for her every month.
Oh, no. I wonder what she's been doing with the pads. I wonder if she was, like, taking the pads and, like, just, like, tossing them in the bin to make it seem like she was using it.
And so I ordered our normal evaluation, which would be some basic labs, including a pregnancy test, as well as a CAT scan of the abdomen and pelvis to make sure she didn't have a kidney stone or something like that. The pregnancy test came back positive an hour late, maybe 45 minutes later. I can't tell you exactly how much time had elapsed when I became aware.
Now, I read somewhere that apparently her defense lawyer is saying that the hospital staff never told her that she was pregnant. However, we're going to hear from some of the hospital staff who was like, yeah, she got a positive, and I'm pretty sure they told her
that her test was positive. So at that point, we sent it for a blood confirmatory test, which is what we call a quantitative.
So that's what I'm going to listen for. I'm going to listen to see if any of them say that, like, hey, we told her that she was pregnant.
HCG, which tells us, it gives us a number instead of just a positive or negative for pregnancy test. It gives us a number. And the reason why that number was really significant was because one of the concerns that you would always have in a young woman who is having back or abdominal pain could be a tubal pregnancy. And so,
oh, is it tubal pregnancy? Is that where your baby's like wrapped in the umbilical cord? That sounds really crazy. Tubal pregnancy happens when a fertilized egg gets stuck on its way to the uterus. Oh, ectopic pregnancy. Oh, they thought that's what it was too. When a fertilized egg implants inside of the uterus, most commonly a fallopian tube. That sounds painful.
Oftentimes we need to correlate the level, the pregnancy hormone level, to determine if it's likely that there could be a tubal pregnancy. There's no obstetrics or gynecology at RTG General, and so it would require transferring her. I also verified at that time that we didn't really have the right kind. The ER has an ultrasound machine, but it didn't have the right probe on there. It had what we call the vascular probe, not the endovaginal or the abdominal one.
The baby was 38 weeks, and they deemed that as full term.
Which would be the ways we would look to see if there was a tubal pregnancy or a viable pregnancy. So I was going to have to call the ultrasound tech in. And so it was taking the lab a little bit longer than I would have thought to give us the actual quantitative HCG level. And so at that point, I started getting very nervous.
Did they speak to the father? Oh, we got a body cam for that one.
Because I figured, well, maybe it's a really high number, maybe they had to dilute it down. And I wanted to check on the patient, and I asked the nurse where the patient was, and he said, well, she's in the bathroom. And I said, oh my goodness, I am, very quantitative HCG level. I have a little bit longer than I would have thought to give us the actual quantitative HCG level. And so at that point, I started getting very nervous because I figured, well, maybe it's a really high number, maybe they had to dilute it down. And I wanted to check on the patient, and I asked the nurse where the patient was, and he said, well, she's in the bathroom. And I said, oh my goodness, how long has she been in there? And she'd been in there for like 20 minutes. And so at that point, I became very concerned, and I said, you need to get her out of there right now. So it took a while for them to find a key. The nurse was knocking on the door, and we heard the toilet flush several times. And so at that point, finally, the door opened, and there was just blood everywhere. And so even though we didn't have the right probe for the ultrasound machine, I felt like I'm just going to look, because I had already called the tech in, but the tech wasn't there yet. So I took her directly to the room and did a ultrasound. I couldn't see anything. Again, it was the wrong probe.
So I think the ultrasound, they keep saying that they're using the wrong ultrasound probe. I think the probe that they're using is one that like scans in the stomach, but what they wanted to do was do an ultrasound of her like vaginal area.
Probe is not the right probe to even, I don't even know if you could see any, like it's the kind of probe that we use to put like special IVs in the neck.
Oh, never mind. Just kidding.
So it wasn't the right kind of probe. But she was bleeding a lot, and so
Oof, IV in the neck. Oh God, that sounds horrible though.
we went directly from doing the ultrasound, and again, I was waiting for the tech to come in, to doing a pelvic exam, and it probably took me 10 or 15 minutes to, when I did the pelvic exam, her cervix, the opening to the uterus was just wide open, and there was just blood pouring out, and I was really mystified as to what could be happening, because I thought, well, maybe she's having a miscarriage. It probably took me 10 or 15 minutes to evacuate all the blood. And just as I was finishing with that exam, the charge nurse came into the ER and said, I need you out here right now.
Well, the autopsy report chapter, They did an autopsy report, and they found that the baby did have air in the lungs and the stomach, which would prove that the baby was alive at birth. However, we're gonna get, the defense is gonna get their own expert opinion and see what they're gonna, they're probably gonna dispute the fact and be like, no, the baby was never born, and because of this, and this. So, the autopsy report could be wrong. Could be wrong. We'll see.
And I walked out into the main department. The nurse was still in a different nurse was still in the room with the patient, trying to get her, clean her up after the exam. And the charge nurse said, the housekeeper and the secretary found a dead baby in the trash can. And so I said, well, where? Because now I needed to verify if the child was alive. So, they brought me the trash can. I ran into the trauma 2 room, the resuscitation room, and dumped it out. And
hey, Hugo.
It did not take me very long to determine that the child was dead. And I made the decision to not attempt resuscitation. Really, the temperature was cool, and I also did not want to contaminate if it was a crime scene.
Yeah, they didn't even attempt resuscitation.
So at that point, then my attention shifted to making sure that the mother was stabilized, because I realized she just delivered a baby. I didn't know where the placenta was. She could die from a postpartum hemorrhage. So I contacted the on-call obstetrician at Loveless Regional in Roswell and said, I need to transfer this patient to you emergently. They said, yep, just send her up. I think the fire department just took her up right away. But before we transferred her, I talked to my team. I said, look, we're not going to talk to her until we have police present. I want witnesses present for our discussion with her. At that point, several of your officers arrived. They arrived very quickly. And we went in and I said, we found a dead baby in the trash. And she said, well, it came out of me and it wasn't
I think this is the part that was on the body cam footage that we saw.
moving, so I just put it in the trash. And the mother started screaming at her, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. This is after they had both sworn up and down that there was no chance she'd be pregnant. And so at that point, once we got her transferred, and I believe that the officers called for, I'm not sure what steps they did, but we made sure we didn't touch the dead baby. We didn't do anything because we did not want to contaminate the crime scene. And then I documented, and that's it.
What was the baby in the trash can?
I did not find it. It was my secretary, who you should speak to. She told me a few weeks later that she was the one. But I was told it was in a plastic bag that was tied off and then stuck into a plastic bag, and then she put trash on the top to try to hide it.
Okay. So he was out.
On the arrest affidavit, she's being charged with count 1, murder in the first degree, or alternatively, abuse of a child, intentional, resulting in a death. Count 2, tampering with evidence.
That was what was told to me.
But he was outside the bag when you saw him.
Yes, they had opened the bag up, and I took the trash can, I just turned it upside down and dumped everything on the bed.
Okay. And you didn't see any trauma or anything to the baby, or?
Don't have a very good recollection of that. My brain was 100% focused on, is this a patient I should try to resuscitate? And once I made the determination not to resuscitate, all of my attention turned to making sure that the mother didn't die.
Okay.
So did any of the nursing staff find the placenta at the emergency room?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah, they don't know what happened to the placenta. They're thinking maybe she flushed it or maybe just got
I have
cleaned
no idea
up.
what happened with the placenta.
She didn't deliver it at Loveless either.
She probably put it in the toilet, would be my guess.
And would that have been something that was able to be flushed?
It depends on how broken up it was. I mean, if it's torn, it potentially could have been flushable. Or it's possible the housekeeper could have thrown it away without thinking it
But what about the umbilical cord? How did she cut the umbilical cord?
was just bloody, because there was blood everywhere in the bathroom.
Really? And did she say anything other than after you told her that you found a deceased baby? Did she say anything?
just that it
Yeah, someone on Reddit was like, they were wondering if she used her teeth. Ooh, I don't know if the umbilical cord is that long. Ah! But I was wondering, like, would you be able to just rip it with your hand? Like, I don't, oh God, I don't know. Oh.
it wasn't moving, so she put it in the trash.
Okay. And mom screaming, I knew it.
It was a really unpleasant experience.
I'm sorry for that. I really am.
Is there anything you think we should know that we haven't asked?
No, I mean, you have autopsy results and you can, obviously make your decisions based on that. She was extremely duplicitous. She lied to us the entire time. It was it was an extraordinarily difficult case. The nursing staff were distraught. The housekeeper was distraught. I don't even know what to say. I mean, it's been a terrible case.
Yes, ma'am. One of the worst I've seen in my career.
I've been an emergency doctor for 20 years. I've actually never seen anything like this.
Yeah. What was the lady's name that found the baby that was when it was tied up in the bag?
That was our secretary, Lori, Lori, and I can't remember her last.
Okay.
But
I have her info. We can talk to her.
Oh, you already talked to her. Okay. Okay. All right. I don't have anything yet.
Yeah, I don't have any other questions.
All right, Doc. I appreciate your time and what you do. And if we have any other questions, would you mind talking to us again?
No, not at all. And of course, I'm prepared to testify if I have to.
That's probably going to happen. So, okay. And
Just the only thing I ask is please help me prepare for it if I have to do that.
yes, ma'am. Yes, of course. With cases like this, they're called pre-trial interviews.
Okay.
So you'll be prepped.
Yeah, the hospital people definitely, because now they're being blamed by the defense. Eesh. There's this YouTube channel that uploaded a bunch of videos, a bunch of interviews. Their name is True Crime Anna Ellie, and they just uploaded like a bunch of videos on here and posted on Reddit.
Everybody in this case will be prepped prior to trial.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
officers, I don't envy what you're having to do, and I know it must have been a difficult decision, but I think your courage is thank you for doing what's right. Neither the mother of the patient nor the patient even asked what the gender of the baby was. I don't even know what to say.
Nor do I, ma'am. Nor do I.
I don't know. Maybe they were in extreme shock.
Okay.
Well, just know my prayers are with you guys as you sort of sort through this. So.
You as well, ma'am, and have a good rest of your weekend, okay?
Because here's the thing. The baby to them is probably not a real thing to them at that time because they never really knew that she was pregnant. All they knew was like, oh, there's a dead baby. To them, it probably wasn't real.
Okay, will do. Thank you, sir.
Bye now.
Bye.
That's the ER doctor. Next we have the hospital housekeeper. I feel so bad for her. Oh my God. The housekeeper is the one that found the baby in the bathroom. I feel really, really bad for her.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just a mentor.
I'm Leah Lewis.
Nice to meet you.
Second also met you the night of.
Yes. Let me turn off my phone.
It's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, can you tell me everything that happened on January 27th?
Okay.
Like your involvement from
The time I was called.
to the end.
Okay, I was called and to go clean the patient's bathroom in ER around, maybe 2 o'clock or so, I think it was the time, I'm not too sure. So when I went in there, it was a gory, bloody massacre mess.
Could you describe it if possible?
Yeah, there was blood everywhere. There was blood on the floor, on the wall,
Do you remember which wall?
the one behind the toilet, and then the one on the side right here. There's the one where the toilet sits, back of that.
Yeah.
And then on the side,
Where the call button is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And on the floor, everywhere. I mean, it was.
Was it like this is the bathroom, here's the toilet and the sink, then here's the door. So was it just like this, or?
Actually, it was all over the place.
There was a case like this with a teenager mother buried the baby in the yard. She was deemed to be insane. The Shabusiness lady, I don't know, I haven't really gotten into it. It's hard to watch. I've heard bits and pieces of the Shabusiness lady.
All over the floor, because even when I was going into the bathroom, there was blood on the coming out of the bathroom on the floor.
Okay.
So it was everywhere.
Okay.
So there's blood coming out of the bathroom? Do you know how far it
footsteps.
went? Okay.
I think they were the person that was in there, her footsteps, as she was coming out. Because I was like, oh my gosh, I mean, it's even out here.
How far out did you have to clean to get it?
From the outside,
Yes.
right by like around the water fountain,
Where's the water fountain at?
right there.
Oh, right next to the restroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it went out to the water fountain. Did you have to clean like the hall or anything at all?
I mopped up that area right there.
Okay.
And was it footprints?
Yeah, I was.
Was it footprints in the hall?
Yeah, when I guess she.
I wonder if the police took the because the housekeeper had to clean everything and put in like a trash bag or something. I wonder if they took all the cleaning stuff like as into evidence.
Stepped on it, and then walked out with it, and then their socks were wet.
Okay.
But it wasn't all the way to her room or nothing like that. It was just right by the water fountain.
So just footprints in the hall to water fountain?
Yeah.
Okay. And what else happened?
Okay, then I went in there, and then I started cleaning. I started.
3 minutes in.
First thing I did was I started mopping because we can't be walking around on that blood.
Okay.
So I started mopping, and then I started. After that, I started wiping everything down. Then I went to the toilet, and I cleaned the toilet, and then I got everything. I had to do everything like twice because it was, bad. I wiped down the walls and everything. And after I did all that, I usually throw my trash first, but for some reason that night I had to clean the floor up and everything else. And when I went to go through the trash, I felt that when I picked up the trash and I looked in it, there was there was trash in it, but I knew that it didn't feel like when I picked it up, it was some weight. So I thought it was the trash bags, because we put the trash bags on the bottom. Mm-hmm. And so I started getting the trash out, and then when I did that, I seen that there was a baby in there. And that's when I freaked out, and I called Lori and HT, or the nurses up front, and because there was a baby in the trash. And the baby, when I looked at it,
Oh my god, dude, that must have been so fucking terrifying.
baby was wrapped up like in a, like at the bottom of the trash can, and with trash on top of it, in a trash bag.
And so how did you see it like as soon as you picked it up?
No, after I picked up the trash bag that was on top,
Okay,
where
so
they were throwing the trash at, when I picked that up to change it, that's when I noticed that there was, when I seen the baby.
Okay, so you lifted the liner and then saw
Yeah.
the baby, okay. And I know it bugs you, but can you like describe the baby?
Yeah, he was about like that big. He had hair, and he was like purplish, but still not like pink. I don't know how to describe it. He wasn't
Yeah, I hope they get free counseling. I don't know if they do, but I hope they do.
bruised or nothing like that. And he was like purple, pink skin type color.
Okay.
How was the bag? How was the bag placed, or what?
It looks like she wrapped it around like that, and then wrapped it like under him, and then put him on the bottom of it.
Okay. And was the baby moving at all?
No,
Okay. Did you touch him at all?
no.
Okay. And so you said you called HT and Lori?
Yes.
Okay, what happened? What did you see after?
I wonder if they can do like a DNA test to see if like the father is really who she says it is, or if it's like someone else.
What did you do?
Okay. When all that happened, I moved the trash can. I told him that there was a baby in the trash. I could barely talk at that moment, and so then they took over, and I left. I went up to the nurse's station. And then they called the doctor and everything and all that stuff.
After that, did you have any contact with the baby?
No.
Okay. And then what happened after that? After you went to the nurse station?
Oh, I went over there with the baby.
What did you do?
I just stood there and I was freaking out and everybody was, asking me what's going on and whatever. And I stood. I didn't go back over there where they were at.
Okay.
Well, we're assuming it's her boyfriend. She's had a boyfriend of like 2 years, teenager. But I mean, I don't know, because like she's acting really, really, really scared. I don't know.
And then
It could just be that she is just really terrified of her mom, and she's just dumb, and this is what she did, right? But yeah, I don't know.
was that whenever I showed up, or?
Yeah, that was about the time you showed up.
So you were just at the nurse station until I showed up and talked to you?
Yeah, well, after that, I went back to EVS, to the department I work at.
Okay.
I went over there and trying to get away from that for a moment. And I went there for a little while, and then they called me and told me that you were coming in for me to go wait in the ER.
Okay.
And that's what I did.
Okay. And other than this, is there anything that I asked you that I haven't asked you that you think I should know?
No, I think that's all.
Think that's it? Okay.
Yeah, if I can remember of something, I'll write it down. That way I
Okay.
won't forget.
All right. And Grave Trainer, Cynthia has my contact information, so if you need to call me, and there's his card as well, you can let us know. Okay.
Okay.
Are you?
So I guess like I'm a little surprised that they weren't interviewed sooner. They're interviewed like, I don't know, what is it, like 3 months later? Isn't it better to interview like the hospital staff like ASAP, so like the memory's like super fresh in their mind?
Doing anything to make sure you're okay?
No, I'm not doing anything right now. I thought maybe I could do it on my own, but there's some days that are harder than others. So when I feel that way, I feel,
Oh, see, this is where I'm like so glad the detectives are like asking the hospital staff members like, hey, you guys like doing okay? Are you like seeing any therapy or anything?
see, I just went through a trauma in 2018. My boyfriend in Carlsbad blew his brains out in front of me. So he committed suicide. So I was traumatized over that for a long time. And then
Oh my God, I feel so bad for the housekeeper.
now this, so it's kind of, sometimes I have a problem with it.
Nothing wrong with asking for help. Okay.
And I don't know if you're a churchgoer or, I don't know what faith you are, but sometimes that helps as well.
Yeah, in fact, that's what helped me with my boyfriend, the churches.
Right.
That's what I turned to.
So you might.
Because I was looking for answers, and there's no way I could ever find out why he did it, because he's
Right.
not here to tell me.
Right. Well, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry
Yeah, that's so sad. Like she had no idea. I guess there's no suicide note left for her.
for your loss.
Thank you.
I really am.
So,
But please try to get somebody to talk to, because it'll eat away at you. I promise you, and just get some sort of closure for it.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like these detectives are speaking from experience, him especially, right? There must have been some cases that like really fucked him up, and he thought he could just get over it by keeping it to himself. But at some point, he probably had to reach out to help from other people.
Yes.
Yeah, like talking to friends, family, like going to the church and just talk to them. Don't even talk to them about what happened. Just say like, hey, I have some stuff. Can I just talk to you about anything?
Right.
If
Okay.
you're Catholic, just go to the priest and say, I need to talk. I don't need you to help me. I just need you to listen. And
Just
let
listen to me,
get it
damn it.
off my chest about what trauma I went through.
Okay.
Because, just getting it out in the open. Because
Right.
I know you're mad. You're mad that your boyfriend did what he did. You're mad that he's gone. He's mad. You're mad.
Mm-hmm.
So getting.
Here's the thing. She's considered an adult. Let's say she gave birth in the bathroom. She's like really scared of her mom. We'll call one hospital staff over, be like, hey, I'm considered an adult. I don't want my mom knowing that I'm pregnant. I just gave birth. Is there a way you could just remove this baby from my life and not tell my mom about it? I'm pretty sure they would have found a way, because like the mom is not, she's a parent, yes, but the mom doesn't have the right to know, about the daughter's like medical shit. Like, I don't know. There's just so many outs that she had, and she was at a hospital. I don't know. This is a tough one. Like, hey, like, can you escort my mom to the waiting room? Tell her that there's something going on. Escort her to the waiting room, make up some stupid excuses, and here, take the baby away. And let's just tell my mom that, I don't know, like the hospital doesn't have to tell the mom anything directly. The hospital can just tell the kid, and the kid can make whatever the fucking lies that she wants to her mom, right? I don't know. Ugh.
That out.
Crazy.
Saying, I'm mad, and talking to a priest or a pastor or whoever
Right.
will help you. Trust me, because I've been through that. I lost my son in 20, and I've done lots of that.
Right. And and I was, because I didn't know why he did it. He didn't ever show any signs or anything like that. So me, I was trying to look for answers, and I'm never going to find them because he's not here to tell me. So that's what my main problem was. I needed to know, and that was making me go crazy.
Well, and there are like survivor groups here in town and just around that you can talk to.
Yeah.
People like in your shoes that somebody's left them behind that they don't know.
Right.
But it's good to have people that you can relate to and talk to that won't judge you.
Yeah, for sure.
So I would like try and find them that you work at the hospital. Maybe they have stuff that they can help you with.
Yeah, they have behavioral health here.
Right.
And
Is it free?
well, when all that happened, I had to see a psychiatrist and a therapy, and the therapist put me on all kinds of medication. I was like a walking zombie.
Oh,
you know,
geez.
and I didn't want to feel that way anymore. And I needed to come out and do something for myself because he was the main provider. I had to come out and work because, how was I going to survive?
Right.
So that's when I came here and I applied, and they gave me this job that I have now. If it wasn't for them, I don't know what I would be now. The hospital has really helped me out.
Good.
And so they offered me, when I applied, I told my situation, I'm like, my therapist didn't think it was a very good idea for me to work here, but I'm going to give it a chance because she said that I could probably have a relapse if I were to see like a lot of blood and a lot
Oh my God, I feel so sad for her.
that's it. Let me give me that
I hope
chance
she's
to
doing
see if I
okay.
can. So I've been here 4 years now.
Good.
So it helped me out a lot, but yeah, there's all, they have a lot of help here, like with behavioral health and everything.
good.
But I just wanted to get off of that medication, and I did it
Right.
myself because I didn't want to feel that way no more.
Right.
But I had to face reality.
Nothing wrong with that.
So have we asked you? Have we had not asked you anything that we should ask you, or do you have anything that?
No, I think y'all asked me
Okay.
everything. And like I said, if I remember something, I'll write it down
Yeah, just let us know.
and let you know and call you and tell you about it.
Yeah, nothing wrong with
Okay.
that. And just like I said, talk to people, talk to friends, talk to family. If you go to church, talk to your priest.
Okay.
All right, it'll help.
Okay. Yeah, and then with this, just talk things off for me. So.
Right.
Yeah, just shake it off, take a deep breath. One day at a time, okay?
Okay. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
I'm so glad that they talked to her for a little bit. I don't know, it must just feel nice, to make it just to feel like someone cares for you, even if they're like strangers. Yeah, when I was in my early 20s, I used to turn to drinking. I would turn to drinking, and I would turn to, I don't know, I would be hungover all the time, and I would just not do anything. I would say the best way to get through something is, well, one, don't fucking drink. No drinking, because when you're drinking, you get really emotional, and the emotional swings are really bad. Yeah, keep yourself busy, rely on other people, turn to other people, friends, family, anyone, right? Pets. If you don't like people, then go to pets, right? Yeah, oh God, I feel so bad for her.
Coming in, I
Okay.
appreciate you coming in.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, you're welcome.
Prayers will be with you. Okay, here's your phone.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right, so that is the housekeeper who found the baby in the trash bin when she was cleaning it. Next, we have a triage nurse.
Jim Minter. Nice to meet you. Have a seat. Yeah, have a seat.
I don't know if you've been briefed on anything. You're not in trouble. An incident happened in January on the 27th of this year. Do you remember it at all?
You're trimming rose bushes right now? Oh, fun. Hi, Chani. How are you doing today? Detectives are good humans. It's both weird for a mom to throw her newborn in the trash. Get a pet. I love doggo. Yeah, pets are amazing.
Yeah, I'm assuming the 19-year-old that was pregnant.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what happened, what you did with it, from the beginning, from when you first saw her to when you last?
Sure. So I triaged the patient.
Okay.
Brought her to our triage room, asked her some of the intake questions, and then moved her to a treatment room. I probably started an IV, gave some medications.
Okay. Anything else?
So his testimony must be really important because her defense team is saying that, like, oh, well, she was given some strong pain medication.
What was her chief complaint?
Chief complaint, I do remember. I think it was abdominal pain or flank pain, something like one of those two.
Do you remember what treatment room you moved her to?
Possibly 2. I think it might have been room 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything helps you remember that?
No, just looking at, kind of thinking of the layout of the ER.
Gotcha. So you triaged her from, did you bring her in from the waiting room?
Yeah.
Okay, so you brought her in from the waiting room, took her in the treatment room, and then, you triaged her, you just got her chief complaint, did vitals?
Chief complaint, vitals. I believe the doc came in and kind of did a quick assessment in the triage room before we moved her back to a treatment room. Then from there we gave her some pain medication.
Oh, what are you going to do for your son's 12th birthday? Are you just chilling? You're celebrating? What you guys going to do? You have 7-year-old twins. I have a friend that wishes she had twins because she wants to have a lot of kids, but she just wants to get through it quickly. And she's like, having twins is the best way. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like dealing with 2 newborns. Oh, man, that sounds extremely tough.
She's doing a little better, and then she said she needed to go have a bowel movement, and that's kind of when the whole thing happened.
So what did you do after that? So when she went to do the bowel movement, where were you at?
Initially, I was at the nurse's station, and then at some point I went and kind of checked on her, knocked on the door, seeing if she needed anything. She denied. She said she didn't need anything.
Did you hear anything?
I didn't hear anything.
Flush, toilet flush?
Yes, after a while I started hearing, so I probably checked on her 2 to 3 times, I'm not exactly sure. And then I just kept hearing paper towel dispenser and flushing and like the water running. And I knocked again, did she need anything? Denied anything. And then eventually it got to a point where I said, you need to come out. And I asked the clerk to get the key to unlock the door, because obviously she locked the door to go to the restroom. And whenever we finally had the key to unlock it, she opened it and just kind of walked out.
Did she say anything at that
She
point?
didn't say anything. She was just looking kind of straight.
Yeah, it's probably they probably have the ER treatment rooms. So let's say they have treatment room 1, 2, and 3. You probably have to go out in the hallway. The nurse's station's probably out there. And then the bathroom would be right outside. Because they said the bathroom was right by the water fountain.
Passed me and went back to the room.
Did you look into the restroom?
I did.
Oh,
yeah,
what did you see?
Went into the restroom and I saw a large amount of blood.
Where
And
at?
it was on the floor. It appeared to, she had tried to wipe it up in places. It was kind of on the back wall behind the commode, the toilet. And so I said, you okay? What happened? And she said, I'm on my period, what she said. And she walked out. And then I went in, because at this point we had already received the positive pregnancy lab test.
When was that?
I couldn't tell you the exact time, but I know prior to that, we got a positive pregnancy test on her.
Okay, prior to the bowel movement, did you tell her that y'all got a positive?
No, the doc hadn't been in there to tell her yet.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so went in there, and I did look into the trash can at that time to see if there had been anything tossed, but the liner was fresh and completely empty. I didn't pick up the can, obviously I would have known, but I just looked in the can and there was nothing in there. It was a fresh liner.
So there's no trash in the
There was
liner?
nothing in there, yeah.
Do you know if they keep fresh liners? Because I know some places they put
Yeah, there's usually
new
like a
liners
roll.
in the bottom of the
Yeah.
trash can, and then they put the liner in and
Exactly.
then take the trash out.
Right, that way when they change it, they can just put a fresh one in. So yeah, there's usually a roll or a bunch of extra liners at the bottom of the trash can.
So you said there was blood on the floor, and it looked like some parts of it looked like it had been...
Right, it looked like it had been wiped up.
Well, and you said on the wall. Was there any on the toilet?
I think there might have been some at the bottom of the toilet. I don't remember if there was some on the actual seat.
Okay.
No,
All right, and then so the doc hadn't told her that she had popped...
not yet.
So because speaking with Vasquez, she said that, and don't quote me on this, but y'all did a urine and then a blood?
Right, so typically they'll do a urine and that just tells you negative, positive, and then they do the blood, it kind of gives them a range of how far along.
So did the urine come back after as well? Or so did all of it come back after she came back?
It probably all came back before.
Okay.
Before.
Yeah, because her defense attorney is saying that like the hospital never told her that she was pregnant, but I don't know why that would matter. Because obviously you delivered a baby, it came out of your vagina in the bathroom. So why would it matter what the hospital said if they haven't told you that you're pregnant yet? When you probably are sure you are pregnant, but I'm not really quite sure how that goes into the defense. Like how it would help her.
But the doctor would be the one to tell her.
Yeah, the doctor would be the one to go into the room and tell her. And after she came out of the restroom, that's when she went in to do a vaginal exam. Obviously, we didn't know what this blood was from. We were a little concerned that maybe she had, known that we.
I just want to go back a little bit.
Nah, some at the bottom of the toilet. I don't remember if there was some like on the actual seat.
Okay.
No.
All right, and then so the doc hadn't told her that she had popped.
Nah.
So like, because speaking with Vasquez,
is he trying to ask, did the doctor tell her she was pregnant? And this guy's saying not yet.
We were a little concerned that maybe she had, known that we were going to figure it out and that she might have harmed herself or something in the restroom, so the doc wanted to go check her, but obviously that wasn't the case.
And how long have you been working here?
Here, about 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So during your time, if someone were to pull the emergency cord have you been here when somebody's pulled that?
Yeah. For
so
the
somebody
specifically.
Right. So
do they have emergency cords in the restrooms? I've been to the ER once, not as a patient though. I went to go visit my brother, but I was pretty drunk off my mind. I don't remember. My brother, I was out drinking. I went to eat Korean barbecue and we're out drinking. And then like my brother calls us and was like, yeah, I'm in the ER right now. I'm like, oh shit, are you okay? And I just happened to be near the hospital, like dropped in, but I was out of my mind drunk. I was like, are you good? Like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. He was drugged up. They gave him medication and stuff, but yeah, it was very interesting.
if somebody pulled that cord, y'all would have known.
Oh yeah, the restrooms typically at every facility will give a different chime than a room, like a room call bell.
Right.
It's like more of an urgent chime, I guess. So
there's been cases where people don't miss periods or anything and actually don't know they're pregnant. Yeah, I've definitely heard of that before. Because I was looking at her cheerleading photos and she didn't really look pregnant. She just looked a little bit pudgy. Yeah, she seemed like she was very active. She was cheerleading, and yeah, I don't know. And I think sometimes too, like if you're pregnant, you might get a little bit of spotting, and maybe when she got spotting, I think it's possible that she thought maybe she wasn't pregnant, but then it's also possible maybe she did know she was pregnant. But then as also, I don't know if that even matters though. Does it matter whether or not she knew? Because at the end of the day, you went to the bathroom, you delivered a baby, and even if the baby was dead at the time you delivered it, you would still call the hospital staff to help the baby. You're not a medical professional. You don't know if the baby's really 100% dead and unable to be resuscitated. You would call the hospital staff to come help. So I don't know. I don't know if it matters or not. But what is going to matter is whether or not they're going to be able to prove that the baby was for sure dead when she delivered it.
Yeah, just so that way everyone knows it's not just your normal.
Right. And to your knowledge, that alarm never went off.
That alarm never went off.
Okay.
No.
So then what occurred?
So after that, her and the patient went back to the room. The physician and a female nurse went in to do the vaginal exam just to make sure everything was good there. I believe, I wasn't in the room, but I believe that's when the doctor said, hey, your test came back positive for pregnancy. She adamantly denied it up to that point, even with me the entire time. She said she was a virgin. She's had her period every month consistently.
Yeah, I don't know. Her telling the doctors, I'm a virgin, I'm a virgin, I'm a virgin. Yeah, I don't know. That really does seem, it really seems like she was trying to cover her ass.
The doc was doing that.
Then you said that, and she told you that when?
Because I was thinking okay, maybe she was in extreme denial. maybe she was in extreme denial and she really didn't think she was pregnant. But, you know, she lied to the hospital staff saying, oh, I'm a virgin. But, you know, I mean, I think her mom was there as well. So she probably, I don't know, dude. If I walked to the bathroom, there's blood everywhere and a person says, oh, I'm on my period. Look in the trash, there's nothing. I would be picking up the trash. Like, what the hell? She could have called for help and gone from there. She just didn't want her mom to know. That was her number one priority, not letting her mom know. But I mean, clearly she wasn't thinking because there's no way. I don't know. Also, the liners in the trash, aren't they clear? They're not like the black trash bags. They're usually clear, aren't they? So at some point when someone does empty out the trash, they're going to see a fucking baby in there. She clearly wasn't thinking. God, I don't know.
She told me that in triage, yeah, that she was a virgin and that she had her last pregnancy was just prior on that month and had.
You mean period? Because
Yeah,
you said pregnancy.
I'm sorry, yeah. Her period, she had them consistently every month. So then I started doing my charting and then we called in the housekeeper to.
Well, for what the housekeeper said, it seemed like it was a clear trash bag because the baby was tied up and then it was folded underneath.
Clean the restroom. We call it like a terminal clean, just when it needs to be mopped and everything. And then she felt the weight in the wastebasket, and then that's when we found the baby and then moved it into the trauma tube. And
Did you find the baby? Did you see the baby
I saw the baby.
in the trash can? Or
I mean, I can understand why they didn't really like thoroughly check the trash can after she exited and there's blood everywhere. They initially thought that she tried to hurt herself. 1 or 2, they just thought that maybe she had like a really bad miscarriage. Yeah, I don't know. Like for us, we have like the true crime mind, right? For me, I'd be like checking the fucking trash can. I don't know what this bitch is doing. I'd be checking the trash can too. But for hospital staff members, they're probably not going to think that like, oh, the worst has occurred. Woman gives birth, throws a baby in the trash, right?
In the trash can. HT, he was there. He's another nurse, and Leela, she's the housekeeper. They initially found it, and I went over there and saw what they had.
and what exactly did you see when you looked in the trash?
I think at that point they had already ripped the bag, but it was just laying, at the base of the trash can under the liner that they had pulled up, and there was like some paper towels in that bag with the baby, and then we moved it over and took it out, put it on the bed, on the stretcher.
So HT and Leela found it. What made you go to them? Did they tell you something, or did you just go?
I believe Leela basically called out for HT, I think, and then he went over there, and then I went over there as well.
Oh,
after
you
him.
went to go see what happened?
Right, to see what, because typically if someone's calling out in the ER, it's not
Bad.
good. Yeah, it's usually not good. But
Oh, and you said you've been working here 5 years, so
yeah, I worked here about 5 years.
so you're already prepped for something bad?
Well, not necessarily like this. This is definitely unusual for us, but yeah, for bad stuff. If you hear someone kind of calling out, you always go check to see if they need help, basically.
And could you tell if the baby was alive or
They did
Passed.
not look alive.
It didn't
Yeah,
look
did
alive.
not look alive. It looked. But also, I think the time had passed since she left the bathroom and it being in the bag. It was just
how long do you think that was?
maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. I just have a guess. I don't know. I'll have to look at the.
And did after the doctor?
Yeah, actually, one of the nurses does comment about that. How he thought it was wild that she was able to deliver the baby so quietly.
Doctor went in and told her she was pregnant. Did you have any other contact with her after that?
With the patient,
Mm-hmm.
I might have went in to have her sign some paperwork, but that was probably
That was it?
we had to transfer her
Okay.
to get OB care and post.
Okay.
Did you have any contact with the baby after that?
All we did, we brought the baby up. We called the doctor, obviously, out of the room from her exam, and we came in, kind of. Doc assessed the baby, and basically determined it was not viable to completely work the baby and all of that. So that was about the extent of it.
Okay. So and then your last contract was doing paperwork to transfer her out?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know of anybody else that would have had contact with her that we should talk to?
Marina Perez, she was the house supervisor. And that's probably about it.
What does she do?
She came in and I don't exactly remember. She had a form of paperwork that she was helping fill out with.
Oh, so she's filling out paperwork.
Yeah, with
Okay.
with the patient.
Did you see anything?
No, she was given painkillers because she came in saying that she had like back pain or something, and so they did give her painkillers. He's the one that said that he gave it to her, I believe.
In the hallway, any type of blood droplets or blood from the bathroom to the trauma room? Did you see anything?
I believe there was maybe from footprints or something. There might have been blood coming from the restroom back to her room.
The autopsy deemed the baby to be 38 weeks. She was formally arrested and charged about like last month, but she's out on bail right now, I believe.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything you think we should know about that we haven't asked?
Not necessarily not like factual things. Just
Yeah,
it seemed like we were being just deceived from the beginning. But that's just my take on it. It seemed like she was very manipulative with us. And
What did she appear like when she came in?
she,
I mean, could you tell? Because I know most women you can tell, unless they're a large woman.
right?
She's a petite girl. Could you tell that maybe she was pregnant or?
I could not. She was very.
Yeah, in her mugshot, it shows that she's like 5 foot tall, but yeah, it seems like people couldn't really tell that she was pregnant.
What would be the word? Not necessarily standoffish, but anytime you asked her to lay down, she would kind of maneuver away from you almost. It seemed like, thinking back, she wouldn't want you to kind of. It was at least what it seemed like to me. She didn't want you to discover, that she was pregnant, and she wore really baggy clothing.
Hi, KK. Didn't get a YouTube notification. We'll get the Discord notification then.
Yeah, and she wouldn't sit still for you. I'm sure she was very uncomfortable too, but yeah, she wouldn't allow you to do it.
All right. Can we get a contact phone number for you?
Sure.
Oh, I want to mute this because I think they forgot to blurb this part out. His information.
Let me know.
Sure.
If you want to be in person again, just let us know, okay?
Okay, I appreciate
I'll give you a card, but I ran out of cards and I didn't re-up, so it's on me.
That's okay. I appreciate it, guys.
And do you live here in Artesia?
Carlsbad.
Carlsbad,
Yeah, I live
okay.
in Carlsbad.
Okay. I was gonna list all their stuff as the hospital, so that way they can just
Okay.
send it to them.
Okay.
I feel like with our with like court and stuff, it'll be easier for you always to get it from.
Yeah,
Your employer.
Yeah.
Now, in case they'll know if you.
She was very duplicitous. That's what the ER doctor said. Hello from North Korea. Hello.
Right, yeah, they'll know. Sure.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time.
Appreciate it, guys, very much.
Okay, next we have.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
No, it's okay.
I'm looking for you guys everywhere.
No big deal.
All right.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Cobb said he didn't re-up. Usually when I hear the word re-up, it's usually reference to drugs.
Good. How are you?
Good.
Coming into work?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you Elizabeth Crawford?
Yes.
Detective Gonzalez.
Nice to meet
Jim Minter. Nice to meet you.
All right. So
You're not in trouble.
I know.
okay.
We just want to start that off with all the interviews.
So if you could you just tell us everything from your contact on January 27th with either the patient or the child, any contact you had from beginning to end?
I didn't have much contact with her until she exited the restroom. I didn't take care of her before that, but
So the
after
patient.
that, I took care of her. Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us what happened?
So she came out of the restroom. There was a little trail of blood from the bathroom back to her room. We went to her room. I went to get her undressed. The doctor came in, explained to her that she had a miscarriage. Her and her mom had a back and forth about it.
The doctor said she had a miscarriage?
Yeah.
Okay.
She said it seems essentially like, I'm not sure the exact words, so it was a few months ago, but she said, it seems that you've suffered from a miscarriage, which didn't seem totally abnormal. It seemed awful miscarriages before they're very bloody.
Right.
And so.
Was she bloody?
Mhm.
Like
then there
her
was-
legs and.
Yeah, she had blood all down her legs, and then there was like blood in the bathroom everywhere. So.
Okay, and you saw that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then got her in the bed, got her in a gown, helped her clean up. Doc came in, we did the pelvic,
Or they're putting their life on the line just to hang out with you guys.
essentially. And then
Hi, Rain.
HT had come in and took the doctor away. And then I helped her get back in the bed, get her comfortable. I went to go get her blankets. And that's where the baby itself was in that room where the blankets are. So then I went back in there and essentially just took care of her tried to as a postpartum patient from then on.
Hey, Fire.
That's about it. Like after that we had ultrasound come in to essentially make sure there's like no products of conception left in there. I think they booted the mom somewhat after the pelvic exam was done.
Were you in there when let's go back.
Okay.
You said you saw blood in the bathroom. Where did you see that?
It was just like on the floor, like with like white marks.
Okay.
Essentially, like she had tried to wipe it up.
Was it on the toilet? Was it in the, where exactly was?
Well, they initially thought it was miscarriage because she was bleeding a lot, and they did a pregnancy test on her and like a blood result on her as well that showed that she was pregnant. So, I mean, these hospital staff, they're not going to just jump to the conclusion that like, oh my God, you gave birth and you dumped your baby in the trash, right? They're like, oh shit, like she must have suffered a miscarriage.
Was the blood and how much?
It was a good amount. It was like on the floor, essentially.
Okay.
So I don't remember seeing a lot on the toilet or anything like that.
Okay. So when you came into the room, did she say anything? Did you say anything to her?
Once we all figured out what was going on and I went in there, she essentially was scared. She was worried that she was going to get in trouble. She did have the back and forth with her mother that was just about like, they had said, oh, the mom was upset because she had had sex and hadn't told her. So they were going back and forth on that, and then she was just denying it, which was a little wasn't really deniable at that point in time.
Right.
So the patient was denying having sex at this point to her mom.
Yeah, she was trying to state that she was still a virgin.
After she came in from the bathroom and all the blood and all that. Okay.
So did the pelvic, and then I think shortly after that the mom was in the waiting room after that. And then she was just worried. She was asking me like what was going to happen. I told her obviously I did not know.
They said in the room they were worried she had an expel. Yeah, it was the placenta. They were thinking maybe she flushed it, or maybe like it got cleaned up accidentally by the housekeeper because sometimes it gets mixed up with the blood. Oh, you're an exchange student in Seoul. How was it? I watched this YouTuber who used to live in Seoul, and she didn't have a good experience. So she's over in Japan right now. But yeah, I went to Seoul like a couple years ago. It was really cold.
Is this when you found out she was worried?
That's what we were wondering, Rain. I don't know if placenta is easily rippable. I don't know. Someone on Reddit floated a pretty crazy, gross idea, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how she cut the umbilical cord. I don't know if it could just be ripped. I was hoping they would ask one of the hospital staff how that could have been. Yeah, I don't know. How could she have done it? But yeah.
About getting in trouble? Did she tell you anything like?
She didn't say anything about what had happened. She was just essentially worried that she was just going to get in trouble.
So that's what I mean. Were those the questions she was asking? Like so.
I mean, that's what someone on Reddit was thinking, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
What's going to happen?
Maybe it's
to me,
rippable.
like that kind of thing.
Did she ever ask about the baby?
No.
Not once.
And so her focus was her getting in trouble, and anything other than that she talked to you about?
She did at one point in time when the ultrasound tech was in the room with her ask if there was anything. She pretty much said, would there be any like bad outcomes if she had stopped taking one medication and stopped taking another. And I said, well, what medications are you talking about? And she said, well, what would happen if I stopped taking birth control and started taking weight loss medications? And I was like, I don't know.
What?
It's an odd question.
I thought so.
Why do you think she was asking that? Stop taking birth control and then taking weight loss. If she was taking weight loss medication, maybe that would prove that she really thought she was just gaining weight and she's not pregnant. But again, I don't know how that helps her defense, whether or not she knew she was pregnant. Would that give her more sympathy for the jury? I don't think so.
And how long
You're
have you been
nasty.
an RN?
9 years
And you live here in Artesia?
in Carlsbad.
In Carlsbad?
So you got her the blankets.
Mm-hmm.
After that, what did you do? What, did you have any more contact with the patient?
Yeah, I just popped in periodically and like checked the amount of bleeding, make sure she wasn't like hemorrhaging or anything.
Okay. And then, so until she left, is that what you did? Did you do anything else other than checking on her, make sure she was okay?
Just that.
Did you participate in the pelvic exam?
Yeah, I was in the room.
Okay. Were you
Hey,
able
David.
to see, did it appear that she gave birth based on the pelvic exam in your experience?
Would you be able to tell?
Yeah.
No.
No,
Okay.
You weren't, okay.
So I've never done OB, so
Okay.
what a pelvic exam looks like after birth, I have no idea. I could say that there was a lot of blood, more than normal, like in a normal pelvic exam, obviously.
Right.
Like we tried to get the suction working because there was so much blood, but it wouldn't work, that kind of thing.
Right.
So.
Okay. So, after she left, did you do anything else? Have any other contact?
Mm-mm.
And so that was just your side of it? That's everything you did?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything we haven't asked as of yet that you think we should know about?
Nothing that I think of.
Okay.
The only thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Norma, we did talk about that earlier. Did I already exit out? Yeah, New Mexico has like a safe haven law for infants where up to 90 days, you could just drop off your baby at a safe haven location. So hospital, police station, fire department, and there's no questions asked and you won't be charged with like abandoning your child. As long as you let someone know that you're dropping the baby off there. But I don't know. She was at hospital. I think she was just scared to death of her mom finding out.
It was just those medications that she was asking about that was weird.
Just what would happen if you stopped birth control, started weight loss?
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't like expand on that? She didn't tell you why she was thinking that?
No, it seemed obvious in my head though, so.
Could you like tell me why it seemed obvious?
Well, it seemed
So I'm going to speed up a little bit because I forgot that I have to go soon.
like she'd been trying to hide this pregnancy from her mother for some time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know you're pregnant, you're not going to continue taking birth control pills. But if you're trying to hide it, you might start taking weight loss medications. That's just kind of what it seemed like in my head.
Okay.
Oh, that's an interesting thought on that. So I was thinking like maybe she took birth control and then she was taking weight loss because maybe she didn't know that she was pregnant. But she's saying that like, oh, she was trying to hide the pregnancy. Then maybe she wanted to take the weight loss just to lose some weight and make it seem like she wasn't pregnant. Oof, that's another interesting perspective. Thank you, Miss Nurse.
Just want to make sure, because it seems like it to me. Just want to make sure. I'm not thinking.
And was the argument between her and her mom pretty heated?
I would say it was awkward.
Awkward?
Yeah, like they were going back and forth, and her mom was definitely angry.
And patient is 19. Mm-hmm. Mom is quite a bit older.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And they never once asked about the baby? During the entire time you had contact with her once she left the bathroom? Even after they found out that the baby was found and all that, they never asked anything about the baby?
I did go check on the mom just to give her an update. And I think she asked about the situation, asked what was going on. And I told her I couldn't tell her anything. So I just went to go tell her that like she's being transferred to Roswell.
Right.
And give her an update on her daughter essentially, and that she asked about like what was going on with all of that. She said, what happened to the bathroom? What happened to the bathroom? I said, I can't tell you.
Right. But nothing specific saying,
That's
what about the baby?
correct.
Okay.
Okay, I haven't. And this. All right, and you're doing okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
With this, we've asked everybody that we've interviewed that's had something to do with this because it's pretty traumatic. Most people don't
deal with
see
this.
that kind of stuff on it. I mean, I know you see death and in your job, but the newborn baby is a little more intense in my life, in my belief. So.
All right. Well, try not to keep you from your job. Appreciate you coming in.
Appreciate what you do. There's my card. You can refer to
HR has mine.
Okay.
Let's see. Next one. This is where she gets arrested. No, what is this? Oh, this is body cam footage. Oh, we have more body cam footage. That's right.
Okay. Is this your family?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Detective Gonzalez, Artesia Police Department. What questions do you have for me right now?
What's gonna go on? Like, what, can I be with her?
She's getting life flighted out right now.
Okay,
So they're taking her right now.
okay,
I haven't spoke to her at all.
okay, so like what's gonna go on? Like, what's gonna happen with her? Like,
So she's gonna get treatment before we even talk to her because she needs to be stabilized. So that's why she's getting life flighted out.
okay,
Once she gets stabilized, we'll try and talk to her. The baby's gonna go up north for autopsy. More likely it'll be done within the next day.
is she gonna get detained after, like, she's released? How,
Get what?
like, are y'all gonna take her into custody or anything like that? Like,
That depends on what the DA finds. We have to wait for the autopsy to come back to see what happened. Because right now with how everything happened, we're gonna do an investigation, get more information from the OMI, Office of Medical Investigator up north. And with that, we present that to DA.
So I think what happened, I'm assuming maybe she came in by herself or she came in with her. This is her husband, but that's not her biological father. She's going to mention something about that later on. But I think what happens is after this happens, she calls the boyfriend, and this is the boyfriend and his mom that's here.
See what the DA wants to do with charges, if any at all.
Okay, okay, so they already took her out.
No, she's getting life flighted. She's right now being set up to go to the...
What happens
What do you mean?
before the DA makes a decision or that?
It should be pretty soon they make a decision. Because with the age of the decedent, they usually expedite autopsy reports and such. With normal people that pass naturally at home, it takes a couple months for us to get reports back. Stuff like this, we'll get it back pretty soon.
Hey, Trina.
So,
Stillborn, they don't know.
They
we
don't know yet.
don't know. That's why he'll be going up north.
So he's asking if it's stillborn. I know he kind of mumbles a little bit, but it seems like he's asking if it was like a stillborn. You guys know yet? And they're saying they don't know.
Has y'all's information been taken yet?
He took my driver's license, he took her driver's license,
Okay.
my phone number, my phone number, yeah.
So, even though she's of age, if she's not available to be contacted, can we put you down as next of kin for all my? Okay. And you'd be grandmother?
I'm mom,
So you'd be
I'm
the
her mom.
you'd be the decedent's grandmother.
Yes,
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
so that's her boyfriend.
Mr. Boyfriend, do you have a driver's license? Okay. And is the address on you current, on the driver's license? Okay. Because determining on what the OMI does, if she's still in medical, and
Wait, why did he take the boyfriend's driver's license?
they do release the infant back, it'll have to be released to somebody.
That's what we're assuming because that's her boyfriend.
It'll be up to OMI who they determine.
But that's what I was wondering. Are like, would there be any circumstances where they would ever do a DNA test on the baby?
Next kin is maybe the parents, but maybe you. Okay, so that's why we're gonna get everyone's information.
Oh, I see.
I'm just gonna run your name through the dispatch on her radio. Okay, so I'm just gonna call them. You as well. Here we go. Thank you.
Could I, as soon as they're done with her, like if everything's okay, will I be able to bring her home with me?
Yes.
I will?
Yes.
Okay.
It's, I don't know where she'll be going.
With me?
No.
To my house? I mean, like.
When she gets like
Oh,
that, I
okay.
don't know which one.
They told me Loveless.
Loveless Regional Center.
Yeah.
Loveless Regional?
Yes, yeah,
That's my card. Get a
Okay.
hold, keep a hold of me.
okay,
So if she stays at Loveless and then she gets released, she can go back to y'all.
okay.
And we'll.
Well, I can get why she didn't register what he meant when he said grandmother. She probably just thought that like he thought that she was the her daughter's grandmother, not her mother, right? At this point, she probably hasn't registered grandmother yet because again, like, you know, she didn't know, let's say she didn't know that her daughter was pregnant. There was no 9 months of anticipation. There was no like, you know, when you celebrate and you're waiting for a newborn to come out, you buy clothes for it, you have baby showers, you do all these celebrations, stuff like that. So at this point, you know, it's not really registered to her that she's like a grandmother, right? All she knows is that she took her daughter to the hospital, right? For back pain. And then now her daughter's being accused of throwing a baby in the trash bin and the baby's dead and they don't know why. So I can understand why she didn't register the grandmother thing.
I'll be in touch with you to try and set up an interview with her.
Okay.
Okay. Would y'all mind talking to me later when y'all are okay?
Yeah, I was with her. I know she talked to him for a while on the phone. And then she came to me, so I've been with her the rest of the time.
Today? Oh. So what did she come here for that she told you?
She told me she had back pain.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Has she been having back pain before?
Yeah, she's pain for her and her hips is no, I mean, she was born with like her, I don't know, it's like crooked.
Her spine?
Okay, because my ex-husband, he hit me. He beat me whenever I was pregnant with her. So she was early. So she had some problems with her hips. Like I always had to take her to the chiropractor to get adjusted because she couldn't use, like, she was always getting constipated. Like she had to get lined up, whatever. So, I mean, I've been taking her to chiropractor because I always thought, well, this time, I didn't know.
How did the YouTube channel get unredacted body cam? I have no idea. I just found this on Reddit.
I honestly didn't know.
They probably just like sent a report to the police station requesting body cam footage and stuff like that.
She was pregnant. I didn't know. I just thought, like she said, I have back pain while my hips are hurting me. I think I need to go to the chiropractor. I said, okay, let's go tomorrow. But she was like in really a lot of pain and,
When did it start?
Like the pain.
Yes.
Yesterday she said it was really bad, that her hips were hurting and her back. And then last night we're on the phone together and she said her hips were hurting bad. I asked her if anything else was hurting, and she said just everything. And she went to sleep.
But she's a cheerleader too, so she's big in cheers. They have cheer competition. She works out. I mean,
We don't know that, Sarah.
And she's been active this whole time?
Yeah, she's been active this whole time
And who does she live with?
with me.
So
Her parents. Oh, that's
Oh.
yeah, 'cause she's in school. She's a senior. So
And how long have y'all been together?
Almost 2 years.
2 years? Okay. So I'm not trying to be rude, but you are more than likely would be the father? Okay.
yes.
It's,
No, we get it. We get
sometimes it
it.
happens. So with everything that comes with that, gets a little shaky when it's newborn, stuff like that. But with like death certificates, stuff like that, Turpinning and Sons, if you choose to use them, we'll be the ones to help you get those. Other than that, because that's all really you'd need, and they can help you with the afterlife care, okay? Do y'all have any questions for me right now? Okay. You have my number. That is my work phone if you want to text me.
Okay.
Or call me. I have my email on there as well, okay? Sergeant and I got your information right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me give you my card too so you can give me a call, alright? Just because I want to make sure everyone stays updated, okay?
Thank you.
Like I said, I don't know. There will be charges that will be up to the district attorney's office. if any, are even done, okay?
Okay.
It's too early in the game to know right now.
Okay.
So we're just gonna do the initial investigation with, I was on the phone with our dispatch, so all my will be here in 45 minutes. It's one of their field agents.
Okay.
And they're the ones, so in the state of Mexico, we're not allowed to touch anybody that's passed.
Okay.
They're called a decedent. They're the only ones allowed to actually handle somebody. So we wait for them to even do anything. So hospitals allowed to do it because they do care, life-saving efforts. Whenever life-saving efforts cease, no one's allowed to touch them. So we have to wait for them to show up
Okay.
before we even start that side of stuff, okay?
Okay.
So she's getting life flighted out. We'll talk to her later.
Okay.
That's if she even wants to talk to us, if she chooses to, because she still has her constitutional rights.
Should I get a lawyer for her? Should I?
Yes.
You can, that's your choice. I can't
ASAP, but as soon as you see the cops walking into the door, you gotta get the lawyers right
tell
away.
you what to do. That's something that y'all as a family have to talk about, okay?
Well, why we would talk to her over in Roswell?
Yes.
But I know right here they won't let her.
Yeah, they wouldn't let us.
Yeah.
She should be gone by now.
Okay.
So that's with the helicopters coming in, they want nobody near it so that way you can't
Yeah.
mess with anything. Because if any of their vitals go off, they'll stop it.
Yeah.
Which could be an issue for if they need care immediately. So that's why whenever someone gets life flighted, they just cut off every contact with the family.
Okay.
Because they're making sure she's getting set up to get transported out.
Okay.
So that's why they tell you to leave.
Yeah.
It seems
Okay.
very harsh, but it's because with the flight nurse, the flight doctor, they have to make sure everything stays constant.
Okay.
So she should be gone by now because she was already getting prepped whenever I came out to y'all.
Okay.
So with that, like I said, she'll be leaving. We'll stay here with the decedent and go from there, okay?
Okay.
So once she gets to Loveless, it's up to Loveless if they'll let you back there.
Okay.
All right, because she is of age, so
Oh, her stepdad looks so upset.
with COVID and how everything goes, it just depends, okay?
Okay.
So if before you make the drive out, call, see if that's available,
Okay.
and just let them know what's going on, and we'll just let your family and that if it's possible.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Yeah, I think everyone just looks really, really shocked. Like they just, damn. This is 4 a.m. in the morning?
Here if you need anything. Yeah, well, I'll be over there, and I'll
Okay.
just be waiting, all right?
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, folks.
Haven't seen you in a while? That's a good thing, right?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes yes, sometimes not. You never know what.
Ooh, audio, sorry.
You should take the mask off. You're not in trouble.
I know that.
She was actively cheerleading. I looked at pictures of her cheerleading that same month, 3 weeks before she gave birth, and she was cheerleading. She, to me, didn't really look pregnant in the photos. She just looked like she was just pudgy.
I know, but it's just something we gotta say. So, all right.
You all right?
Oh, I need more water. Damn it.
We were talking about some other things.
Oh, okay.
So it has nothing to do with this. I had some problems with some people on the floor, so
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, there's always
it's always that way.
something.
It's always that way.
There's
Yep.
always something.
Part of being human, right?
And that's part of being in the hospital.
There's that. So, Mr. Halliday,
Yes, sir.
can you just,
Tell us your name.
My name is, I go by HT, but my name is Hilliard Truman Halliday. I'm a licensed RN in the state of Oregon and a multi-state compact license throughout the United States.
And how long you been an RN?
10 years.
10 years. And you live here in Artesia?
I live in Hagerman.
You live in Hagerman?
Mhm.
Okay.
I've worked here, I've worked in Ruidoso, I've worked in Tucson at Northwest Medical Center, Oro Valley. They also have a standalone marina, standalone ER, and I also work at Bay City Area Hospital in Coos Bay, Oregon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
so you've traveled.
Mhm.
So I know you already told me before, but can you just, from the beginning of your contact with either the mother or the child, can you tell us from the beginning to the end everything that you have had, that you witnessed?
Well, I was the charge nurse in
Okay.
the ER that night. The
And
patient-
what is the charge nurse?
charge nurse is responsible for the overall running of everything that goes on. Any problems or any issues or anything that needs to be dealt with as far as well, just about anything, you take care of that.
Okay.
Okay, you're in charge of the whole
ER.
work center. Yeah.
Okay.
I was doing triage that night, and so we have three positions. We have 3 nurses, 3 positions. You have a triage nurse, and then we have 2 other nurses that take different rooms. Usually it's 1, 3, and 5, or 2, 4, and trauma 2. And then trauma 1 is one of those rooms where usually we don't have anything in there unless it's bad, and everybody kind of just is in there. So I was doing triage, and I was a charge nurse. It was a regular night. I remember she came in with back pain, and they had put her in. They were going to treat her in triage 1 with some regular medications for back pain. But after the doctor examined her, she was a little concerned.
Hey, Queen, how are you doing today? How's it going?
I think because of her heart rate and some other things. So she wanted to move her into a room and do a more extensive workup, which is what they did. At that point, I don't really know anything because she
Was it determined that baby drew breath? One autopsy report did say that. However, as we know, sometimes people can have different opinions. So they're obviously the defense is going to get their own examiner who's going to, examine the baby's body and give their opinion on it. So
she's taken out, she's not really my patient.
Okay.
So I know that Chris had her. I know that he came to me and said there were some issues because they had ran a pregnancy test on her, and they found out that she was pregnant. And she was adamant. The mother was in the room with her and was adamant in denying to.
Did you see that, or did it was?
No, Chris came to me and told me this was what was going on in the room because we were having an issue.
Okay.
And he was worried about the mother. The dynamics between the mother and the daughter, because the daughter was completely denying she was pregnant, and the mother was relatively upset about that she was pregnant.
Okay.
So
and you're talking about Chris Sanchez.
Chris Sanchez, yeah. Okay. And so I told him, well, as long as she behaves, okay, if it's going to make her. And he goes, yeah, she's okay. I think it's going to be fine. So that's the last I heard of it. The next interaction I had was the tech, which was Lori Aragon, come and tell me, HT, you need to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom. There was quite a bit of blood in there. So this was after she came out. She went to the bathroom, was in there for a long time. And Chris was telling me, she won't come out. So I told him, you need to get the key because the bathroom's locked. And so he told her he was going to get the key. And so she came out. But there was some.
Adams, I had a friend. She went to see the doctor for back pain after the examination. They told her, you need to go to the delivery room immediately. She even knows she was pregnant. Yeah, we hear stories about that. That's why I totally believe that it's possible that she could have not known that she was pregnant. I think it's possible. And I think it's also possible that maybe the mom didn't know she was pregnant as well. How? I don't know, because she's 5 foot tall, but I think it could be possible. We hear stories about it.
Blood in there. So I went to Dr. Vakas and told her, I was worried that she did something to herself physically in the bathroom. The way she reacted being pregnant and the things that I was being told.
How much blood was in the bathroom?
It was smeared around, so it's hard to tell exactly how much. But it was enough to cause me to have concern.
Okay.
I really thought she had done something physically to herself when she found out she was pregnant.
Question: when did she find out she was pregnant?
It was pretty early on because we did the urine first off. Any female that comes in with back pain, we do a urine right away because we're worried about a urinary tract infection. And with any female, when we do that, we always do a pregnancy test to make sure we don't give them medications that would contraindicate pregnancy.
Do you know who told her she was?
So his interview right here is gonna contradict what her defense team were saying. So the defense team was saying that she was giving strong pain medication, and that I think they said that they never told her, the hospital never told her that she was pregnant. But based off what he's saying, it seems like
Was pregnant?
That they told her she was pregnant early on, and they also want to make sure that if she's pregnant, they don't give her medication that fucks it up, right?
I believe Dr. Vasquez did.
Okay.
I believe. I don't know because I wasn't in the room for that because I wasn't involved with.
Yeah, so they need to ask Dr. Vasquez if she told her she was pregnant. Although I don't know if it really matters anyways in the grand scheme of things, but.
Direct care. But I knew she knew fairly soon because we already were having an issue with the mother being upset about her being pregnant.
Prior to going to the bathroom?
Way prior. Because then they'd start an IV and then they started running blood work on her because once you find out someone's pregnant, then you run another lab test to see how far along they are.
Okay.
So they started an IV.
Yeah, Kelsey says, I actually knew someone who didn't know she was pregnant, went to the hospital, came back with the baby. She didn't know it was pregnant.
And we're giving her some fluids. I guess I don't know exactly what they were doing. I wasn't involved with that kind of care. But I told Dr. Vasquez she definitely needs a vaginal exam. I'm concerned that she did something to herself. That was my concern. And they took her right into the room. And then I told Lori, call.
But here's the thing, Aloha. I don't think they're allowed to be like, hey, we have to follow you to the bathroom and watch you as you peek or poop or whatever. Because I think she told them that she had like a bowel movement. I don't know if they're allowed to do that, to, you know, force her to adults, allow them to be in the room while she's like, you know, taking a shit, right? I don't think they're allowed to do that.
Housekeeping.
And especially at this point, they probably didn't have any determination that they were allowed to, you know, deem that she was like maybe mentally unstable and that they had to force her into like psychiatric or something like that, right? I feel like that would be the only way they might be able to force her to allow them to be in the bathroom with her so she doesn't harm herself. But I think at this point, I don't think they would be allowed to. Actually, I have an ER doctor friend. I should ask him. And I have another friend that works in psychiatric as well. Yeah, I don't think they're allowed to be like, hey, we're going to stay here and just watch you use the bathroom.
Got to come clean this up. Which time she called Leela, who was on call for housekeeping. Then I was just sitting.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have true crime brain, so I'm always sus of every motherfuckers out there. But, you know, for them, you know, they probably didn't think that she would end up doing something like this, right? I'm always very, like, of people. But also, hindsight is 20/20, right?
There, and then the next thing, Lori comes and goes, HC, oh my God, you better come to the bathroom. I go in the bathroom, and she goes, something's in the trash can. I'm like, I looked in there. There's a clean liner. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, pick it up. I picked it, I could feel the weight. I knew then we had a serious problem. I immediately I just grabbed the trash can and went right across the hall into trauma 2. The liner was pulled out, but there was another trash bag in there in the bottom, but it was all it was rolled up. So I had to.
Well, Skylar Richardson has been cleared because they were able to do an independent autopsy and found that the baby wasn't, I don't know, they had like two contradicting ideas, right? Initially it was like, oh, the baby was alive and that there was like smoke in the baby's lungs or something like that. And she tried to burn the baby because there was like burn marks or something like that. She tried to burn the baby with a lighter or something. But I think Skylar was able to hire her own independent like autopsy person. And they were like, no, like the baby did not inhale any smoke. They were able to dispute that. And something about like the bones and the fire or something like that. Like it showed that like, you know, the baby really wasn't lit on fire. But yeah, that's why she got off of it. Because at the end of the day, the jury believed her expert. But yeah, I don't know. Hi, Rikta. How are you doing today? How's it going? I didn't watch that case. I just read about it afterwards. Most disturbing thing I've read in the comment section of a live stream. I wonder if she's absolutely screwed in court. I think there are ways where she might be able to get out of this. If she has a really good expert that's able to convince the jury that the baby wasn't alive when she gave birth. And so she wouldn't be charged with, you know, first degree murder, right? She'll be charged with, I don't know, maybe just improperly disposing a baby, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Or, you know, she might have some really crazy, insane background sob story that could make the jury feel bad for her. But yeah, we don't have enough information yet. But so far, what we heard so far from the defense was that they're blaming the hospital. They're saying that like they gave her strong painkillers and yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this case develops, right?
Tear it apart. And then, of course, I saw the baby in there. So I pulled the baby out, got him on the bed, checked for signs of life. There was absolutely no life whatsoever. I immediately came out of there after
maybe that abuse of a corpse, possibly, right? Putting the baby in the trash bag and then like, disposing it in trash.
I did that, went into the room where she was performing the vaginal exam, and I immediately told her, you have to come out now. And she came out, and we went into trauma 2, and she reassessed the baby. At that time, between me and Chris and her, we determined, you know, there was no reason for us to begin any life saving. The baby was completely gone.
What did the bag look like?
I agree with you. Whether or not the baby was stillborn or not, the 19-year-old is not a medical expert. Call the doctors. give the doctors, let the doctors try to resuscitate the baby, right? Should have called the doctors. You're at a hospital. Yeah, it's wild. I think that's what boggles a lot of people is that she was at a hospital.
The bag was the original trash bag that was in there. It had trash in it. When I pulled it out, it was spun where it was tight, and then it was folded underneath the baby and in there. So it was like a little capsule the baby was in. So when I had to tear that bag open to see the baby in the bottom. If you would look in the I looked in there. When she told me, she was something. I looked. I said, "What are you talking about?" Because there was a clean liner in the trash bag.
So basically, he was in the bottom, trash on top of him,
and then another clean liner had been put on top. Yeah. So then after that, after we determined we were not going to do any work on the baby, I shut the room down and I called the police. And then I didn't let anybody. No one went back in that room. I made sure of that till the police arrived.
And you said, so with the blood in the restroom, you said it was like smeared. Can you describe where all it was smeared at?
On the floor, there was some on the toilet, there was some on the wall.
Do you remember which wall?
There's the one wall that's by the toilet, that's closest to it, where there's a side rail, there was some blood there. There was quite a bit of smearing on the toilet itself. And then on the floor, it was just, smeared around.
Okay. What do you think that is from?
I thought she did something to herself physically.
Okay.
Because she found the interaction between her mother and her daughter was weird.
And so, but just to make sure, mother is patient's mother, and then daughter is patient.
Yeah. So the daughter is the patient and the mother. The interaction between them after she found out she was pregnant, the way the daughter was reacting she was adamantly denying she was even pregnant. She was denying that she had sex.
And you heard her say that?
Yes, she was denying that openly. So
what did mom say when she said that?
Well, mom was upset, and the mom was saying, "I can't believe you. You know you can talk to me. You're supposed to talk to me about this stuff before you were having sex." All those kind of things. She was saying stuff like that, which is pretty common. I mean, this isn't an uncommon thing. I see young girls having sex and they've come in and they're pregnant, and then the mother is with them and find out, and it's upsetting to them. You know what I mean? So it wasn't uncommon. It happens.
Finding out your daughter's pregnant is not uncommon. Not the other incident. Not the.
No. I've never seen anything like that.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I've seen lots of young girls come in and find out they're pregnant, and then of course they deny that. It's not uncommon that they deny that. No, mom, I haven't even been having sex. You know what I mean? That's a lot of them's initial reaction. Right. Because, they feel like they're going to be in trouble. I guess I don't know what they're feeling, but that's not an uncommon reaction that I see with young girls and their mothers, particularly with their mothers in there or father.
She got into a stress-induced labor. Dude, she was at 9 months, but I think it was time. It was time for the baby to come out. She was getting back pain, body pains. It was time to come out.
That they'll deny that they've had sex. That's pretty common.
All right. And so you said it was Lori that called you. You went in, and the liner was still on?
Yeah, there was a clean liner on the top. That's where I was like, what are you talking about? Okay. And then she said, pick it up. And when I picked it up, it was heavy. I was like, holy shit. You know what I mean? I knew, right away I knew. Then I just went straight to trauma 2 with the whole trash can. I just went across the hall and got, broke the baby.
So after you, Doc, and Chris, decided there was no resuscitation, what did y'all do after that? What did you do after that?
I made everybody leave the room, and I told Lori to call the police.
But then after that, anything else?
No, I didn't do anything until the police arrived, and they came and asked me what was going on, and I took them into the room and told them this is what happened.
Oh, we heard his voice in the body cam. He was the one that initially greeted the police when they came.
This is what we found, and I haven't talked to them yet.
Okay.
I haven't said anything to them.
So between
the officer arrived.
So from the time of declining resuscitation to officer involvement, you didn't have contact with patient or mother?
No.
Okay, just want to make sure.
No, I didn't go in the room till after the policeman showed up, and then I went in there to talk to the patient, and asked her why was the baby in the trash can.
And what did she say?
she said that it just came out of her and she didn't know what to do. That's what she told me.
Oh man, look at the detective's face. He's like, bye, Johnny. Yes, happy birthday to Brock. You guys have fun. I'm so jealous. You guys are doing pool and moon bounce, right? Oh, that sounds so fun. Bye. Look at the detective's face.
And did she say it was breathing, not breathing?
She didn't say anything
She
like
didn't say
that.
anything.
No.
She just said it came out. She didn't know what to do.
Right.
Okay. And at that point, did mom say anything?
Mom went kind of a little bit irate, like, "Oh my God, how could you, you know?" But I think the mother was in the assumption that it was a miscarriage.
Uh-huh.
And I told her, "Ma'am, that is not the case. This is a full-term baby that was placed in the trash can." And then and that's when I told the mom, "Ma'am, if you can't control yourself, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the room," because she's 19, she is an adult.
Right. And she calmed down?
No, she actually left. She went outside.
And outside to like the waiting room?
To the waiting room, yeah.
Okay.
And then she came back in.
Once she calmed down.
Yeah, and then when she came back in, and then once I talked to the police.
Hey, Sarah Adams. Thank you so much for the tier 1. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy your baby corgi badge and enjoy your emotes. Welcome, welcome. Thank you.
Officers and stuff. Some of the family had started showing up. And she went back out there, and at that point, I told them, because the officers asked me to not.
Yeah, so I think the mom left the room, and that's when she called the boyfriend, and the boyfriend brought his mom over.
Let anybody in certain rooms, and so I told everybody, and I even went out there and addressed the family. I said, "I'm sorry, the police are here now. This is kind of an investigation thing. We need to find out what happened, and no one will be allowed back into the working area anymore."
Right.
And so I kept them in the waiting room after
Did
that.
they have any comments?
Not one.
Really?
I was really surprised. Not one person asked me about the baby, if it was alive, if it was dead, if it was a boy, if it was a girl. No one asked me anything. Not even, she didn't
Not
even
even the
ask.
patient?
No, she didn't ask. The only thing she started doing was crying and started talking about she didn't know what to do. Not one. I've never seen I've delivered multiple babies and I've seen multiple miscarriages, and I've never seen a reaction like that. And I don't even know what to say about that. I've never seen anything like it.
How would you describe the reaction?
I think there was no emotion except for herself, and she really wasn't even crying tears. She was just, and the only thing she was upset about was that I think she was going to be in trouble with her mother. That was her only concern, in my opinion. There was no concern for the baby. No one asked me any questions about the baby. Not even the family members, when I went out there and talked to them, did they say, normally people, I would think, would say, was it a boy, a girl? No one asked me one question about the baby at all, not one.
The whole time?
The whole time. No one asked me anything about the baby's condition, if it was a boy or a girl, anything, nothing.
Well, there was one nurse that did say that the mom tried asking what happened in the bathroom, and the mom tried asking what happened to the bathroom. The nurse was like, "I can't say anything." And then like in the body cam footage, we did see the stepdad look really upset. He was like kind of like crying really quickly, like wiping his tears. Everyone just looked shocked, in my opinion. I don't know. Like I get what he's saying completely, right? It's kind of like, what the fuck? Why didn't anyone ask like what the gender was, right? Like what happened? I don't know. I think they tried to, but then it seems like the staff was saying that like, oh, we can't talk to you about what happened in the bathroom. The mom tried asking, what did she try to say again? Oh no, the stepdad tried asking, was it a miscarriage? And then the police said that like, they don't know, have to bring it up north for autopsy. So yeah, I don't know. I think they were just really shocked. Yeah, it does sound horrible that no one asked, but I think they were in shock.
Okay. Did you have any interaction with her when I know she was flown to Roswell. Did you have any interaction with her then?
Because when we looked at the baby, the umbilical cord was still completely attached. So then I had concerns about her health. When a baby comes out like that, we worry about the placenta being still attached, which causes the mother to bleed.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, our concern was about her.
Right.
And getting her somewhere. Probably, I envisioned that she probably was going to have what we call a D&C to get the rest of the placenta out of her to make sure she'd be okay. So I was in there explaining to her, this is what's going to happen. You know, we're going to have to fly you to Loveless, for you can see an obstetrician to take care of this stuff. So I explained what we were going to be doing with her at that point. But it was just basically, my job telling her, this is what I need to do to make sure you're safe and you are okay with that.
There was no more conversation about the baby or...
I didn't have any conversations with her about the baby at that point. Okay. No. My only conversations with her were about what I needed to do to ensure her health.
And at that point, Mom still hadn't asked about the baby?
No, Mom was already out in the waiting room at that point. Okay. We didn't let her back in. But no, she didn't. Okay. Now, I know that I had because I had called the house supervisor to come down because this is a big deal. And I know that she kind of intervened on some things in the room. I don't know exactly what they talked about. Right. But I know that Marina was visibly.
Listen, I knew this girl who she was like my age at that time, like 23, 24. She had to ask her parents if she can stay out with us and essentially like have a sleepover. Like we were all gonna go to Atlantic City, which is like a gambling area. But yeah, she was like full grown adult. She was in college and she had to ask her mom like, hey, can I stay out and can I stay in Atlantic City for a night? So I do know people like that are very intertwined with their parents. To me, I think it's really fucking weird. My brother has a friend also who his friend lived with her parents until like, I don't know, like late 20s, 30s or something. And her parents are like very strict with what she does. So yeah, there are some family dynamics that are like that. To me, I think it's really fucking weird. Dude, the moment you turn 18, bye, peace, get it out of here.
Upset about the conversation she had with her.
Yeah, we talked to her yesterday.
Right. So I don't know what their conversation was. I know that Marina was quite upset about the conversation they had. That's all I can say. As you could tell, right. I could tell Marina was upset. Right. As most everybody, which was after that point, my job was I had to get back. We still had patients coming in. I had ambulances coming in. I had 2 ambulances show up. I had more patients coming on the floor. I was down 3 beds because I had them coordinated off. So at that time, my attention turned to I have to get.
Yeah, because we got to remember this is an ER, okay? Things be going hectic in ER. There's other patients. There's other people popping up. Like, even though there's a traumatic thing that's happening with the staff members, like they have to move on as if it's like business as usual, right? They got to attend to other people and stuff. Everybody. It must have been really fucking hard to not just be like, you know what? I got to leave right now. I'm going to go home and just like go to fucking sleep or something. This is too much for me. They have to continue working.
Functioning.
Right.
Which not only did I have to do that with the nurses to get them back, I had to pull the doctor aside and get her focused because she was visibly upset.
Right.
So that was my mind frame at that time was I have to get these people back. We got to, we have sick people still. Can't do anything else. I mean, you sound cold, but that was my mindset is we had sick people.
Yeah, you got other people to take care of.
I have to get these people back online. We have to get back to work. We have to function.
All right.
Yeah, the ER still has to function.
I have to roll.
Okay.
Is there anything we haven't asked you think we should know?
I'm just going to tell you this. I've never, ever seen a reaction like that girl. I don't even know what to say about it. There was zero emotion. I don't even know what to say. I've never seen anything like it. I've seen women that are only married, or not married, but pregnant for 6 weeks and they lose that baby and they're a mess. You know what I mean? That girl went into that bathroom, made no sounds at all, and the baby came out of her. And I don't even know how she functioned that way to do what she did and with no emotion. I've never seen anything like it.
She's high school senior.
And it was a pretty good sized baby. pretty good size.
It looked term to me.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it was term. I can't tell you that was, but the only thing that upsets me the most is I understand she was scared, and I think her mother had a big dynamic on her, and I understand that. I mean, I think her mother was probably pretty controlling. I don't know that. I'm just speculation. But she gave me no chance to save that baby. I had no chance, and that's not what I do. My job is to save lives, and I had no chance on that baby. She gave me no chance. And we are a facility that
If he testifies, he's going to be really, really good for the state.
you can drop the baby off, no questions asked. You can just leave the baby and go. I don't care, as long as you bring the baby to a safe. We are one of those type of hospitals, so it's hard to fathom what was going on in her mind. I don't know. I've never seen anything like that, and I pray to God I never see it again. I mean, it was like I don't even like TV shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Shit, I don't even know what to say, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
We appreciate what you do.
Oh,
I know we've dealt with, we've done a lot of things together. I appreciate what you do.
It's my job.
Every day.
I appreciate
But
you
it's
saying
not it's not just a job. It's a calling, and we can tell that you take it to heart. And,
well, it's
and I truly, as a father, I truly appreciate what you do.
well, it is very upsetting what transpired, and it's
Well, we don't know if it's a no sex before marriage. The mom was just saying that, like, oh, if you have sex, like, you should tell me. Yeah, if you have sex for the first time, like, you should let me know. Although I think that's kind of a big ask for a teenager. I get it. The parents want to know, and I think they should be able to tell the parents that. But, like, I don't know. I could understand why teenagers also don't want to tell their parents too if they had sex for the first time, right? But yeah, we don't know if it's one of those, like, no sex before marriage. But that hasn't been mentioned yet.
so like I said, it's harder to choke down when you don't even have a shot.
Right.
She didn't give me a shot at that kid.
Right.
So it's hard. Yeah.
Well, I know you've been doing it a while, so if you need to talk to somebody, don't hold it in.
Well,
Get to talking to somebody.
It's just one of those things you got to put in a case and put it away.
I
Go
know.
to work.
I know. I've done it many times.
Wow.
So,
So you know what I'm saying.
Well, if you have any questions, let us know. Cynthia has my contact info. If we need to get a hold of you, it's okay. Is it okay to get a hold of you again?
Absolutely, man.
Okay.
Yeah. In my opinion, that kid didn't have a chance. And I don't know what she did or didn't do. Can't say for sure. But I know she gave me no chance.
True.
Right.
That's what we're
And
saying.
that's all that matters to me. I didn't get a chance.
You get a chance to do your job.
I didn't get a chance to save that kid. And I believe wholeheartedly in my every fiber of being I'd have saved that kid. Or we would have got that, he'd had a shot. We'd have got him out of here alive. I don't know, but you know what I mean? Like I said, I don't know. I didn't inspect the child that closely once we looked him over, and there was no signs of life, and he was gray, and there was absolutely no heartbeat. There was nothing, to present life. But I always feel like I always have a shot.
Right.
With whatever comes through my door.
This is the one you didn't have that option.
I didn't have an opportunity. I mean, I've delivered. I mean, a month or so prior to that, we had a lady come in that was breech. The kid was hanging out or blue, and that kid is alive today and well.
That's good.
So I really feel like we didn't get a shot.
Okay.
All right. Well, try not to hold it in too long. All right.
And it is what it is, man.
Well, you're in that line of work. It just keeps piling.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
I hope they'll be okay. You can tell the hospital staff, they're just so disturbed by all this. Oh God, yeah, I hope they're all okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, appreciate it.
No problem.
Hopefully, don't keep you too long from work.
I'm finna go start right now.
All right, I was gonna watch other stuff. But guys, I have to go. I was supposed to be ending this like an hour ago. I have to go. So I hope you guys are doing okay. I'm sorry we're watching some really grim stuff on a Saturday. But we'll see how it goes. She's maybe go to trial. Apparently, they did offer her a plea deal, and she turned it down. So maybe go to trial. We'll see how it goes. All right. Don't be too grim. You know, don't feel so sad about all the bad shit that people do in the world sometimes, right? There's always good people out there. I like to believe that. I think for the most part, people are pretty good. You know, we'll see what happens with her. Again, like she might be able to hire some expert testimony, you know, some expert that's going to say that like the baby was dead when she gave birth. We'll see, right? She's innocent at this point until she's proven guilty in trial. I don't want to throw too much judgment at her family and her mom especially. We don't know too much. You know, you can judge what you can from like a little clippets from body cam footages and stuff like that. But I don't want to throw too much judgment at her mom. But yeah, we'll see. You love the Boone letter. Oh, the Boone letters. Is that what I did yesterday?